assigned to cell C here. We have two correctional officials that's assigned to this day room area to supervise the inmate. We have one that assigned to that control station that controls all the doors and entrance and cell doors. The inmate is allowed to, of course, view television. We have a television out here for him, radio. He eats his meals here on the in the day room or in the cell if he wants to. We basically leave this door open for him. He can come in and out to the day room as he wishes. And on the day of the execution, for the first time since being assigned to second prison, the inmate is allowed contact visiting with his family and possibly attorneys and friends. That contact visit starts around 10 a.m. and with breaks for meals in between ends around 11 o'clock p.m. After 11 o'clock, he's brought back to this area to wait preparation for the execution itself. And yes, we do allow, by request, some special phone calls for the inmate if he desires. Some inmates request special items, and some don't. A lot of them, like maybe they get a burger or something locally, and sometimes they don't request a last meal. But when they do, we try to get anything within reason that they request. At approximately 1 a.m., myself and the escort team will come around to the inmate and ask him to prepare for the execution. And at that point, he's told to strip down to his shorts, and he's escorted from this area to the prep area where the IVs are started. He's strapped in, and he's strapped, as you see. The medical team comes in and establishes the IV catheters. And after the IV catheters are started, I'll come in at that point and get a last statement. That statement, of course, as I said, is recorded and then it's transcribed and released to the media. After the last statement is taken, the chaplain comes in and stays with the inmate up until it's time for him to be taken to the chamber. And around 1:50 a.m., the inmate's brought into the chamber itself and placed in front of the viewing window to prepare to start the execution. This curtain here is closed at that point, and then the executioners file in, and the executions are behind this curtain. There are, as I said, members of my staff, and that they are people that have been basically volunteered but selected by me to participate. And they may not always be the same people, but they could be over a certain period of time, could be some of the people that have participated before. There's 3 executioners each execution. 2 of those actually handle what we call live lines that actually go into the inmate, and one of those executioners handles a dummy line that does not have the actual lethal drugs in it. And that's done for reasons of confidentiality. So nobody knows exactly who handled the lines that were actually contained the lethal chemicals. But it comes in from here and it goes through to the inmate into those lines that have been established by the medical team that I told you about a couple of minutes before too. If there's nothing that prevents the execution from proceeding, I will come around and talk with the witnesses and let them know that the execution will proceed as scheduled. Okay, this is the witness room. This is where the execution is observed by the official witnesses, witnesses from the media, state official witnesses, and the inmate witnesses. There could be upwards of Probably no more than 16 people in this room at one time, as far as witnesses concerned, and of course members of my staff. There'll be one of my staff in here and one at the door. But all the witnesses, of course, are oriented and taught with prior to witnessing, and they're told what's expected. What they hear from me is that respect for everybody to, of course, behave professionally and appropriately in here, and that we don't allow any outbursts or anything of that nature, or as far as trying to communicate with other witnesses. We ask you to keep a calm and professional demeanor while viewing the execution. And precisely at 2 a.m., thereabouts, the execution will begin. At that point is when he's given the drugs. And of course, there is a sedative, first drug that he receives, that renders him unconscious before he receives the actual other two chemicals.
Are there medical personnel present in the room?
98.
Yes.
98. Okay.
I thought I'd read something about the American Medical Association having said that doctors weren't allowed to participate in executions or something of that nature.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Is it a prison doctor that's here? Or is it someone from the outside?
That's confidential who actually participates.
Okay.
Do you have somebody on hand if for whatever reason something were to go wrong, have a doctor on hand to supervise?
There are medical staff available,
Okay.
and there is a doctor available, but who those people are is confidential. Usually the inmates pronounced dead anywhere from around 2:15 to 2:20. Normally in that range, more likely around 2:15, 2:17 is about the average time of death. I will come around and of course announce the time of death to the witnesses and verify with them that the execution has taken place in accordance with the orders of the court. And at that point, the witnesses are escorted down. Any of the witnesses that want to speak with me, of course, are Ms. Walker. And if the witnesses do not want to talk with the media, then they're escorted to their vehicles by my staff and to proceed from the institution.
Where do you rank handling the death penalty in terms of the difficulties of your job?
It will be high up there on one of the difficult things.
Is it the hardest for you, you think?
Well, when you say hardest, probably it would be. The only thing personal that I can say about it is, of course, you know that situations of that type, nobody looks forward to having to deal with those types of situations, but it's a matter of law that we have to deal with it. So from a personal standpoint, it is tough to see people in that type of situation where we, by law, have to do it.